In the vast, unforgiving steppes of Mongolia, under the wide expanse of the eternal blue sky, a child was born who would go on to change the course of world history. Born around 1162 as Temujin, he came into a harsh world where survival depended on strength, cunning, and alliances. His father, Yasugai, was a tribal chieftain, but the boy's early life was marred by tragedy. After his father was poisoned by a rival tribe, Temujin's family was abandoned by their own clan. Left to starve and fend for themselves, they endured bitter winters, hunger, and betrayal. These early hardships forged within Temujin a ruthless will to survive and a keen sense of leadership. As he grew, so did his ambition, not merely to survive, but to unite the warring Mongol tribes under one banner. By his early 20s, Temujin had begun forming alliances, gathering loyal followers and eliminating rivals. Through a combination of diplomacy, tactical marriages, and brute force, he gained a reputation as a formidable leader. In 1206, after years of tribal warfare and consolidation, he was proclaimed Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler, by a council of Mongol nobles. Under his command, a once divided collection of nomadic tribes transformed into the most disciplined and effective military force the world had ever seen. Genghis Khan revolutionized warfare with his use of cavalry, psychological warfare, espionage, and mobility. His armies moved faster and struck harder than any before, leaving kingdoms shattered in their wake. Genghis Khan's empire exploded outward with terrifying speed. His first major campaign took him into northern China, where he defeated the Jin dynasty and besieged cities that had stood for centuries. Unlike previous nomadic invaders, he was not content with raiding. He conquered, governed, and absorbed the knowledge and technology of the peoples he defeated. His campaigns spread westward into Central Asia, Persia, and eventually into Eastern Europe. Cities that resisted him were often annihilated. Massacres were used as tools of fear, but those who surrendered were incorporated into his growing empire, often allowed to live and even rise within his administration. Despite his reputation as a ruthless conqueror, Genghis Khan was also a progressive ruler. He established a legal code known as the Yasa, promoted religious tolerance across his empire, and created an efficient courier system, the Yam, which allowed messages to travel thousands of miles at incredible speed. His governance allowed trade to flourish along the Silk Road, connecting the East and West like never before. Merchants, artisans, scholars, and diplomats were welcomed in his empire, and knowledge flowed in all directions. He also enforced strict discipline among his troops, rewarding loyalty and merit over nobility, and encouraged innovations in military strategy and communication. Genghis Khan's personal life, like his empire, was vast and complex. He married Berta, who remained his chief wife throughout his life, and he had many other wives and children. His sons and generals were entrusted with vast responsibilities, helping to manage the massive territories he conquered. Though he could be brutal, Genghis was also deeply spiritual, often seeking the guidance of shamans and believing himself chosen by the eternal blue sky to rule the world. His life was one of endless movement, campaign after campaign, battle after battle, always pushing the boundaries of his empire farther. In 1227, Genghis Khan died, reportedly from injuries sustained after falling off his horse, though rumors abound regarding the circumstances of his death. His body was buried in secret, the location still unknown to this day, hidden somewhere in the Mongolian wilderness. But though he died, his empire did not. His sons and grandsons continued to expand it, eventually reaching from Korea to Eastern Europe, and from Siberia to the Middle East. At its height, The Mongol Empire was the largest contiguous land empire in history. Genghis Khan's descendants included Kublai Khan, who would go on to found the Yuan dynasty in China, forever altering Chinese history. Today, Genghis Khan is remembered with a mixture of awe, fear, and reverence. In Mongolia, he is a national hero, the father of a nation, and a symbol of unity. In other parts of the world, his name still conjures images of fire and blood, of relentless armies and shattered civilizations. Yet historians now view him not just as a destroyer, but also as a creator, of connections between East and West, of ideas and trade, of a new world order. From humble beginnings on the cold steppes, Temujin became Genghis Khan, master of half the known world, and a name that echoes through the ages with thunderous force.